Why is understanding and knowing about early childhood trauma so important when we are parenting and when we're raising children? You might be thinking, well, why is it? It's not like I don't have enough to think about and do. Well, you might have discovered on your parenting journey or your caring journey that there's many things that your children do that really get under your skin. Now, there's many things that they do that do not really get under your skin. Yay! And you might have been curious along the way and thought, well, why does that particular behaviour or that particular tone of voice they take or that particular emotion, sometimes our children crying a lot or being very frustrated or jealous of others or things like that, we have a much bigger reaction to that emotion than we do to another, or we have a much bigger reaction to that behaviour in one child than we do in another. And it kind of doesn't make logical, rational sense. So sometimes then we think it's something about the child, and we kind of, without meaning to, we sort of put the problem in the child, in their personality, in something about them. But you know what I've discovered on my long journey of studying all the major global experts in early childhood trauma, looking at the science, is that it's always in us as the parent, in us as the carer, in us as the professional, in us as the grandparent, as I am now. If something is setting off that volcano inside of us so that we feel hot inside, now we might be able to contain it and not let it come out of our mouths, but the volcano still went off. Well, that makes us normal, so we can relax about that. It is the bit about if we can contain the volcano in us and actually breathe some cool air onto it so it doesn't explode and erupt all over this poor child, whether it's a poor child of 17 that's 6'1" or a poor child that's 2 and got very upset because you moved the cow when they didn't want the cow moved. Who knows, things that just erupt in them, and it seems to come out of nowhere, and then of course it comes out of nowhere in us. So what's that got to do with early childhood trauma? Well, the thing is that we're not always going to know why that happened in us, but what I have found on my long journey with this and working with it for many years is that knowing it most likely links back to something we experienced as children, an emotional need that wasn't met, or a way that we were treated or spoken to when we behaved in a certain way. That's why now, when this beautiful child in front of us who we love and adore 99.9% of the time makes us the worst version of ourselves, that knowing that in and of itself is such a huge difference. It's really a game changer. So that's why I would invite you to get a lot more curious about early childhood trauma and to want to have a little bit more insight and knowledge so that this stuff doesn't keep spilling over into the most precious, important role that you'll ever have in your life.